His lesson from earlier today flashes through my head with surprising clarity, and my eyes scan the stranger for weapons. Yes, weapons. Alrighty. Welcome back, any and everybody. This is Linen Otter, here to do another episode of The Taste of Fire. My voice is a little tired today. I don't know what it was. I woke up late and I had a hard time getting started with stuff. So I'm hoping I'll still be able to do the voices okay. So maybe I'll make this new character's voice very easy on me, because that's who we're gonna meet. Like, hello. Maybe I should actually. Some diversity in character voices, huh? Hello. My heart slams into my throat, but I somehow manage to push down the panic, my hand flying to the back of my belt where it grips the dagger Valos had given me. Oh, jeez. Guy greets you with a hello and you're ready to just grab your knife on him? Easy, Sam. His lesson from earlier today flashes through my head with surprising clarity, and my eyes scan the stranger for weapons. Yes, weapons. He doesn't have any. Having noticed my reaction, the dragon quickly rises from the stool, which causes me to tense further, but he merely raises his hands up as if to show me he's unarmed. I don't mean you any harm. He trips over the words in the rush to reassure me. I'm still tense, and for a moment I consider calling out to Valos or Herschel, but the red dragon is just standing there, almost naked, appearing as non-threatening as he can, and curiosity overtakes me. So curious, in fact, I grab my phone and start my timer. There we go. Keeping my hand on the hilt of the dagger, I nevertheless close the door behind me. What are you doing here? The stranger exhales slowly, seemingly glad I didn't shout or attack him. He gives me a nervous smile. My name is Relzin. I heard rumors of a dragon who was seen with a human, and I was hoping to meet him. I should hope you are said human. I blink at him several times, confused, although I try to carefully assess what I'm seeing right now. A buff, half-naked dragon asking about a human. The dragon is practically nude, wearing only an odd sort of skirt that conceals his groin and backside, but not much else. He is well built, although not nearly like Valos, but his form still conveys a sense of strength, which is why I have no intention of relaxing quite yet. Besides the fact that he appeared here unannounced, of course. Why? Why what? I mean, why are you looking for the dragon? I just wanted to see him. My kind is rare in these parts. I peer at him with obvious suspicion, and while he squirms under my scrutiny, the dragon tries to smile awkwardly at me. Oh, at least he's... Does Herschel know you're here? Herschel? The innkeeper. Oh, no, I snuck in. Furrowing my brows, I glance at the window. It's open, the shutter swaying slowly in the cool evening breeze. Shifting my gaze back to Relzin, I tap the floor with my foot. Tisk tisk. Naughty naughty. Why? He shrugs, his awkward smile slipping from his snout. Dunno. Easier this way. I don't know how to respond to that, and before I can think of another question, I notice that Relzin is eyeing me up, not unlike what I was doing not a few moments ago. Less with concern and more with curiosity, and as far as I can tell, though. So you're the human, then? Yes. Recognizing the look, I don't even have to ask if he has seen a human before. Herschel gave me that exact same look a few days ago when we first met. Funny how meeting me is as unusual for these dragons as meeting them is to me. Despite what Valos had said yesterday, however, I didn't really expect to see another dragon here, and so soon. What is a human doing with a dragon? The question takes me by surprise. Tilting my head at him, I take a moment before I reply. We are traveling together. Oh, where? Why do you want to know? He narrows his eyes a little, and I start getting nervous again. Can you say that you are safe? What do you mean by that? It's a simple question, human. I swallow, utterly unsure where he's taking this conversation. Am I safe? Yes. No. Maybe? I'm still in a settlement of beastmen who may be hostile to my very presence. On the other hand, Valos seemed determined to safeguard me. Besides, what business is it of this red-scaled dragon? I'm fine. Why did you hesitate? Listen, Relzin, I think it is best if you leave and come back when Valos is aware that you want to meet him. Valos, so that's his name. Oops. Relzin nods to himself before his gaze snaps back to me. I just want to know where he's taking you. He's not taking me anywhere. You said you were traveling together. I did. The dragon seems to be getting irritated. He takes a step towards me and I tense all over again. Where? I take a step back at his approach, suddenly conscious of how small I am in comparison. I have a dagger, but he's covered in scales. He looks stronger, and he can breathe fire. Nowhere in particular. He stops, tilting his head to the side to regard me, eyes narrowed. Before he can say anything else, however, the door swings open, and I stumble into the hallway, almost falling before I'm caught by familiar hands. There's a single tense moment of silence as I stare up at Valos, while Valos stares straight ahead at the intruder. Then, in a blur, Valos moves, rushing past me and into the room, his arm slamming into Relzin, carrying him forward. Valos slams him into the wooden wall with a loud thud, with his elbow at Relzin's throat. He snarls at the red dragon. Whoa! I stand in the doorway, frozen. I watch as Relzin struggles against Valos' weight, trying to push him off in vain. When he attempts to raise one of his arms up, Valos swiftly uses his own free arm to pin it to the wall as well. All the red dragon seems to accomplish is aggravate Valos even more. While I can't see his face right now, his posture is stiff, and from Relzin's obviously pained expression, it is easy to guess that he's pressing the elbow hard against the other dragon's throat. All of this transpires over a few seconds, but that's all it takes for Relzin to stop struggling, letting his arms hang limply by his side. He speaks, his voice strained. I'm not. And that's all he manages to get out, because the next thing out of his mouth is a rasping noise as Valos pushes his elbow even further, cutting off his windpipe. At this rate, he might strangle Relzin. I'm just standing there, dumbfounded at what's happening. I had been wary of Valos before when we first met, but now I'm starting to be a little scared. What? He's obviously doing this to protect you? I can't even begin guessing the reasons for this reaction. Did he recognize Relzin as some kind of enemy? I am unharmed, even if the red one was a little aggressive there at the end, so surely that can't be the reason. I finally find my voice. Valos, calm down. He hasn't done anything to harm me. There's a brief instance where I fear he won't pay me any mind, but then I see the muscles on his back tensed up and bulging with strain relax ever so slightly. He pulls back, and Relzin takes in a shuddering breath, blinking rapidly. The two stare at each other, neither moving. You could let him go. He's unarmed, Valos. I didn't mean either of you any harm. Again, Valos stands unmoving, as if weighing the words he just heard, before abruptly releasing his hold on Relzin entirely and straightening up. The red dragon sways in place for a moment, as if he's about to fall down, but manages to stay upright. He rubs his neck, eyeing both of us wearily. As Valos takes a few steps back, arms crossed, it doesn't escape me that he is still shielding me. He glances over the shoulder at me before addressing Relzin.
You're lucky. I don't take the presence of intruders lightly. You better have a good reason for sneaking up on us.
Relson takes a moment to look at me and nod in what I presume to be gratitude for my intervention. I can't help but wonder if Valos would have actually killed him if I hadn't been here. What if he had come upstairs and I went to get dinner from Herschel instead? Or maybe he would react much more calmly? Valos does seem overprotective of me.
Peace, brother. I really meant what I said. I am not here to get into a fight, or to cause harm otherwise.
A growl rises from Valos' throat.
For your sake, I hope that's true.
Relson raises both of his arms up.
It is. As the human told you, I am unarmed. No weapons, hidden or otherwise.
What he's wearing is certainly not good for hiding any weaponry, I think to myself without vocalizing it. Valos scrutinizes Relson with his gaze, then finally nods.
What are you doing here? I have extended no invitation to anyone to seek me out. That's why I decided to find you in this manner, which was clearly a mistake. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. I don't need your apologies. I told you to explain why you're here.
Relson glances at me again. My surprise at the way Valos is acting must be obvious on my face, but Relson has never met a human before. He might not be able to read my expression. Regardless, he promptly returns his attention to Valos.
It's just been a very long time since I met another of our kind. It's really as simple as that. I'd heard there was a dragon in the area, and I wanted to meet you. I am looking for someone, and I wondered if you might know something. The local folks said you were avoiding most of them, though, so I figured it would be easier to just come unannounced. You were wrong. Clearly.
Before either says any more, I hear footsteps in the staircase. Oh shit! I'm standing right in the middle of the hallway. Before I can dart into the room, however, I see Herschel appear there, frowning at me.
Is everything in order?
Herschel walks up to me, then stares into the room, wide-eyed.
I, wasn't aware we had another guest. He's no guest. He snuck through the window like a thief.
I'm not. Another growl from Valos causes Relson to quiet down.
Should I call the town guard?
There's no need for any of that, good man. I'm not a thief. I'm not an assassin. I'm just a traveler who wanted to talk. Please. Despite the odd way he went about it, I don't think Relson is being insincere. Not that I know much about thievery or assassination or any of that shady stuff, but if he really wanted to hurt me, he would have done so before Valos ever got here. I suppose he might have wanted to harm Valos instead, but no, that makes no sense either. Surely not unarmed like this, considering the difference in their strength I just witnessed. I don't think he's lying, Valos. We were just talking before you, Herschel, however, doesn't seem to be taking any of this well. The usually jovial innkeeper is frowning deeply at the intruder. Yes, deeply frowning. Oh, there it is.
Are you sure he wasn't looking for something? He could be a spy from the Empire for all we know.
Relson is beginning to sound exasperated, even though he keeps glancing wearily at Valos when he replies.
I'm not a spy either.
Valos stares hard at him. The red dragon swallows nervously, but doesn't make any moves otherwise.
I don't think you have to worry on that front, Herschel. This is no Imperial agent. If you say so, I'm certain. Still, if you please, I would prefer if you left my inn right now. I can't have strangers sneaking in through the windows.
Relson's shoulders slump, and he looks to Valos.
Can we speak? I just have some questions. It won't take long, I promise. The innkeeper is right.
You need to leave!
Relson looks like he's about to say more, but then decides against it. With another nod to me, he follows Herschel out into the hallway and down the stairs. There's a brief moment of silence as both Valos and I stand there, waiting for the sound of their footsteps to fade. Then, abruptly, Val rushes to the window, sticking his head out to look around before slamming it shut. I take a peek into the hallway, then slowly close the door, grateful that nobody else came to check out what the commotion was about. The dragon is clearly agitated. He starts pacing the room, his brows furrowed. I sit down on the bed, not wanting to say anything yet. As the silence stretches on, Valos finally turns to me, his expression softening.
I am sorry, Sam.
I raise my eyebrow at him, surprised that he's apologizing over his reaction, but Valos continues speaking.
Something like this shouldn't have happened. I let my guard down. I'll need to keep a watch out.
Wait, it wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, Relson was unarmed. There was plenty of time for him to attack me if he wanted to, but he didn't. I might genuinely need to take a pause here. My throat is really hurting.
First of all, unarmed doesn't mean he's not dangerous. Far from it. More importantly, we do not know what he really wants. He could be a danger to you.
To me? What could he have against me?
What did the rhino have against you?
He has a point there, but I don't think this is remotely similar to that time in the forest. Well, you and Herschel kicked him out before he had a chance to explain himself. Valos waves a hand in the air dismissively.
He had every reason to lie after getting caught.
I don't think he was lying. Really, what else could he have been doing here if not looking for you?
How would I know? And what does it matter? The important thing is that he could be far more dangerous than he let on.
I think we should get him to come back here so we can find out who he's looking for. Valos regards me incredulously.
Why?
You never have too many dragon daddies. Am I going to leave that in the video? I'm curious. It must be important to him if he risked sneaking in to see you just so you wouldn't avoid him.
You're curious? That's it?
Yes. It is difficult to articulate what I'm feeling to the dragon right now. Well, I think I could do that for you. I think I could explain to you something about the birds and the bees there, Sam. When you get to a certain age, you start to experience a certain amount of feelings towards certain aesthetics, we'll say. Anyway, some of those I don't intend to share at all, like how his overprotectiveness is becoming a little frustrating. Or not even that, but how I dislike feeling like I have become his responsibility. Some odd man-shaped burden he needs to carry around with him now. The time when others could order me around ostensibly for my own benefit is in the past. Even if Valos thinks he's doing something for my safety, I will have a say in it. But this particular discussion might be best left for later. First, I want to resolve this Relson question. I tried my best to put my thoughts into words to make him understand, hoping that he'll hear what I'm saying. Listen, Valos. I know it hasn't gone according to plan so far, but I left my village so I could experience something more than a quaint, boring life. I wanted adventure in the great wide somewhere. I want it more than I can tell. And for once it might be grand to have someone like you, Valos, understand. I want so much more than they've got planned. Because I was curious about the world. Here I meet another dragon who is clearly searching for something. Why wouldn't I know what that is? Want to know what that is, maybe. Valos has me fixed in his gaze as he thinks about what I said, although I can tell that he isn't convinced at all. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised by that, but I really am curious, and whatever danger the dragon sees in this situation, my instinct tells me that it can't be that bad. Even if it is, I'll be alert for it. It won't take me by surprise like that bandit in the forest.
I'm going outside. I should keep watch and make sure it really is safe. You should sleep while I do that. It's been a long day.
Valos, I will ask Herschel to look for Elson if you don't. His nostrils flare, but then he closes his eyes for a moment to calm down before brushing past me and opening the door.
Fine. We can listen to what he wants. He will satisfy your curiosity, and he can leave knowing we heard him out.
I take in a deep breath and then slowly exhale. My irritation must be playing on my face. My irritation must be playing on my face now, because Valos simply stands in the doorway, staring at me, instead of leaving to do whatever he intends to do. Wait, that sounds like a fair compromise. I don't see any reason for being upset about that.
Are you upset with me?
You didn't need to attack like that. You were practically ready to kill him.
I thought he had assaulted you.
If you paused for a moment, you would have seen that I was completely fine. Valos' shoulders droop, and he doesn't quite meet my eyes when he speaks.
It's as I told you earlier today. In a fight, even a single moment of hesitation can mean defeat.
This wasn't a fight, Valos. How many times do I have to repeat that?
Yes, I know.
Then?
I understand I could have handled this better.
Alright. With that done, he lingers for another moment as if he means to say something else, but decides against it. The door swings shut, and I'm left alone again. Looking out the window yields nothing interesting. The townsfolk are largely gone, and I spot no sign of Relson. Not unwise of him not to linger, given the reception he received from Valos. It really was foolish of him to sneak in like that, but even I was taken aback at the way Valos reacted. Maybe he knows much more about the dangers his kind present. If so, he could have told me though, especially if he wanted to convince me against speaking with Relson again. But he didn't. I sigh and turn to undress. Valos wasn't wrong when he said I must be tired, at least. In truth, I'm exhausted, and sleep is most welcome. I just hope Relson is still around by then. I recline in my bed and fall off to sleep. Oh. When my eyes flutter open, the sunlight streaming through the closed window reveals that I am alone. I rub my eyes, start staring at the corner where Valos sleeps sometimes. His absence isn't unexpected. I had a feeling I would wake to see him gone. Or maybe he stayed out there all night, guarding the inn as he said he would do. A frustrated sigh escapes me. He's out there, with no rest or sleep, and I'm just lazing away in bed. Just like he has been out there running errands for Herschel to pay for me to have a shelter. He doesn't treat me like a burden, but I'm really starting to feel like I am just that to him. Least he could ask of me would be to keep a watch at the window while he gets some sleep. The sun has been up for a while, it seems. My eyes are drawn to the door. Breakfast should be done, with most beastmen off to work. Considering our conversation last night, I want to speak with Valos as soon as possible. If he delays seeking Relson out too long, the Red Dragon may well leave town. With a curiosity burning up inside me, I want to make sure Valos has really left to look. If not that, then at least ask Herschel to do so. Truth be told, I'm getting exhausted by all the skulking around too. Herschel has been kind, all things considered, so maybe the other beastmen aren't going to be so bad to me. Hey, he's finally warming up. Not that I intend to burst out into the plaza, of course. I'm sure there's a reason no other humans come to this town. Sighing, I listen for any footsteps at the door, then go out into the hallway when I'm certain nobody's there. I also continue my timer, totally forgot to do that. The only sounds coming from downstairs is someone sweeping the floor, with nobody making conversation. As I had guessed, it's Herschel, busily cleaning the tavern, humming something to himself as he wields the broom. He looks up at me, wiping his brow with his sleeve and smiles. Oh, as he smiles.
Good morning, Sam.
He seems to be in a better mood than yesterday, although I think I detect a hint of tenseness in his posture. Good morning.
Come on in, boldly now. I've closed for the day, so no need to be careful.
No guests either?
None but you and Valos.
I frown, then nod. Why close the inn? The ox stands, leaning on the broom, his brow creased.
Well, after yesterday's intrusion, I figured it might be good to have a day free of guests and customers so I can make sure everything is in order. And I suppose, let the dragons talk it out so we can put this whole affair behind us.
I blink at him, a little startled. So, Valos agreed to invite Relzin here?
They've been at it for a while now, actually. Half the night, at least. Valos mentioned you were the one who insisted on it.
Yeah, I did. But I thought he'd go out to look for Relzin in the morning. Not immediately. Where are they? Herschel resumes sweeping the floor as he thinks.
Not entirely certain. Not entirely certain, to be honest. They talked here for a while, then wandered off. I thought they might have come upstairs to get you, but it seems I was wrong on that count.
The innkeeper's words prompt me to blink at him again. He seems oddly nonchalant about all this, considering just last evening he had insisted on Relzin leaving immediately. Even saying the Red Dragon might be some kind of agent. And now here he is, calmly cleaning the inn while the very same dragon is somewhere in the building, out of his sight. Are you all right, Herschel?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
I'm surprised you're not more worried about Relzin's presence, given what happened yesterday. I expected that Valos and I would have to meet him somewhere else. Elsewhere. The ox laughs in that rumbling way of his.
Can't say I was happy to see him again exactly, but I figured Valos wouldn't bring him here if he thought danger might be afoot, and since then, the two of them seem to have reached an understanding. At the very least, I think I can get along fine enough that I need to worry about trouble, and I don't think Valos would appreciate it if I'm butting my head into their conversation, just so I can keep an eye on this new acquaintance of yours.
I nod lamely, still not quite understanding the chain of events that led us here. Relzin must have said something truly reassuring for Valos to decide to bring him back here. I'm irritated I have been left entirely out of their conversation, though, especially considering that it has been going on for a while now. Is it because I'm human and they're both dragons? Relzin did say he wanted to see another of his kind, so who knows what kind of information they might have wanted to exchange without someone like me there to overhear it. I should find them. Nodding to the ox, I step away and consider for a moment where I could look for the two of them. The inn is large enough that they could have gone out of Herschel's earshot easily. Valos didn't come back to the bedroom, but there are several more upstairs. That being said, I listened carefully when I was leaving the room, and there had been nothing to suggest a conversation was happening. Maybe I should look into the kitchen first, just in case. Oh, I had a feeling a choice was upcoming, but interesting. What could this possibly have as ramifications? Well, yeah, I guess check the kitchen seems the most logical. I'm tired of being upstairs anyway. A quick glance there wouldn't hurt. Herschel doesn't seem to be paying much attention as I walk over to the familiar door and step into the spacious room. It's empty, although the table has two bowls with smudges of porridge that I suspect might have served as breakfast for the two dragons. My stomach growls, seeing as I haven't had breakfast myself yet. I take a quick glance in the pantry, not really expecting anybody to be hiding there, but simply to snatch a quick snack. I'm sure Herschel won't mind. When I emerge back into the kitchen, however, I see shadows moving through the window and freeze behind the pantry door. There are beastmen just outside the inn, talking. Wee snaw.
The bastard stole the whole shipment, too.
A second, nasally voice responds to the first.
Second time this month. Getting real f***ing bold, ain't they?
Though they'd kept to the human side, but I'm guessing the Hall ain't been too good with them.
The first beastman laughs mirthlessly.
What did you expect? Robbing traders is more lucrative than attacking a filthy human hovel.
I stared down at the floorboards, frowning. Are they talking about some bandits? I feel a chill creeping down my spine. Didn't Valos mention a group of raiding settlements when he first rescued me in the forest? Something about markings similar to that rhino that attacked me?
Now let's go. Sun's getting in my eyes.
The shadows move on from the window, and I step out into the kitchen. Memory of that rhino is like a fresh wound in my mind. I hope Valos crippled him badly enough that he'll never be able to fight again. I shake my head to banish the thoughts and emerge out into the tavern, then dash upstairs, nodding briefly at Herschel. With that, I dash up the stairs. I glance quickly into our shared room, not really expecting Valos and Relzin to have suddenly appeared there. The window is still closed, so I take a moment to open it and let some fresh air in before leaving again. I stand in the empty hallway, looking around. Valos! Oh, Valos! At first there's no response, but as I strain my ears, I swear I hear a faint sound of movement somewhere nearby. Valos? Again, no response. Sighing, I walk down the hallway in the opposite direction of the staircase, listening briefly at each door I pass. Not being familiar with the inn's layout, given that I've mostly kept to our room, I'm surprised to discover it's smaller than I initially thought. I'm looking around more out of curiosity now than genuine hope that I'll find either of the dragons up here. Finding myself at the end of the hallway, with a smaller door there that I guess might be a storage room further ahead, I'm about to turn around when I hear a groan, or maybe a moan, from behind the door. I approach it slowly and nudge it, curious. It's open, and through the small gap that is formed because of my push, I'm treated to a sight that I absolutely did not expect. I just have a dirty mind. Oh my gosh, no, I do not have a dirty mind! Valos and Relzin are both... What? What? I was like, what the heck? I was like, okay, whatever. Come on, we're mature here. We're mature. People do this. Valos and Relzin are both there, both nude, with Valos sitting with his back to the wall, facing slightly away from me, while Relzin kneels in front of him. Neither seems to realize I'm there, and my first instinct is to bolt from there immediately, before I'm noticed. But I don't do that. It's as if I'm rooted to the floor as the slow realization of what I'm seeing dawns on me. I'm watching Relzin pleasure Valos. Some of this is probably going to get censored and probably just cut entirely, because this is... there's no way I could possibly... I couldn't possibly, yeah. I don't know how I could censor all this and make it readable. Anyway. Valos is breathing heavily as he struggles to stifle his moans, while Relzin... Carefully, I step away from the storage room, then just as silently creep my way back to our room. I close the door firmly behind me and drop onto the bed, my breath still heavy. What did I just witness? More importantly, why did I just stand there, watching, and... My eyes wander down to my crotch where I'm still stiff, and I feel a rush of disgust at myself, at what I saw, and my shameful behavior. I mean, maybe at your behavior, because, I don't think they really wanted an audience there. So, I guess that. But, there's nothing... oh, jeez. And you? Nothing wrong with adults having consensual activities with each other, I suppose? Has Valos really been so lonely since he left his homeland that he did something like that with the first dragon he met? Or is that something male dragons do often with each other? I ball my hands into fists, letting the fingernails dig into the skin to stop the images from the storage room from overwhelming me again. Oh, jeez. No, I shouldn't have seen any of that. That was... wrong. Even so, I can't entirely banish the memory. I nearly jump in panic when I hear footsteps in the hallway, and I sit up awkwardly just in time for Valos to push at the door. I realize too late my cheeks are red hot. Averting my face, I pretend to pick something up off the floor. Oops, dropped my pencil.
Oh, Sam, good morning.
Alright. I don't know why he's smiling at me like that, but we're gonna get into this confrontation next time. My voice is so strained. I literally took an entire break for a day, so I'm not too sure what to say about that. I'm a little concerned. I knew doing all these deep voices it was gonna get to me. I better just rest. But we'll get some new recording done too. Hopefully some more stuff will be up later this week. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope you have a good day, a good night, a good evening, whatever it is for you. And we'll see you next time. Goodness gracious, what a turn.